looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Good evening. Welcome to the Rotherham United podcast, the post-match. We're going to look back at 1-0 loss to Norwich City, top of the league, Norwich City. Plenty of positives come out of it, but at the same time, we lost. So that's one big negative from there. You'll see that they've got above me, Ben. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Hello.
Not happy with the result, obviously, because we've lost. But for the most part, Ben, happy with the performance?
Yeah, obviously 1-0, and we're good not to get anything at top of the league. And we feel like we should have maybe got something, I suppose. But yeah, I'm happy with it. I think there's obviously things to learn from, but it's football, isn't it? So you're gonna have them games.
Yeah, and we're not going to play against teams like Norwich every week, and we'll come on to the defender for the goal, but their movement at times was fantastic, and at the end of the day, we have almost the same defence as we had in League One. So, and they've got almost the same attackers in the Premier League. So it's to be expected, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is. It is. I thought we probably deserved to get a point out of the game based on the second half performance. I thought we were off it a little bit in first half. We're just lacking the cutting edge that we had up front, that we had earlier on in the year. Hopefully that'll come back. But yeah, they're a good side, aren't they? They're a good side. And it's no disgrace to lose 1-0, to go there and only lose 1-0. I guess we can come out with our heads held up high. However, I would have preferred to come out of these two games with at least a point. We needed it. We needed it from a league positional point of view. We can't concentrate too much on opposition all the time, can we?
No, that's true. I think we were lucky today. The crux chance where Max Aarons is basically just got lucky. He turned his back and the ball hit him, and it's gone away. Yeah. On another day, that goes in. The Wiles chance where he hits bar a minute into the second half, what a fantastic chance. Yeah. There was a lot of positives. To come up against a team like Norwich and push them very, very close is pretty good, to be fair. And I took that. Again, we said this a lot, and I took that at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
And now I'm disappointed. And that's a good sign in that sort of sense. But we've got to make these other games count. Forest games, QPR, Piggy's coming up. We've got to start making those games. Luton as well at some point soon. So we've got to start making those games count as well. If we aren't going to make these ones count. Coventry are a perfect example of picking up results when you shouldn't. Beating Brentford today. Annoyingly.
Brentford have had a sniff at Premier League again, haven't they? And they decided they don't like it. So they're taking over from where Derby left off in bottling it, haven't they? So,
I'm sure they'll pick up again by the time we play them in a couple of weeks.
Obviously, yeah, because they'll not be in a position to be getting into automatic spots. So what they obviously need to do is get themselves in playoffs so they can bottle it there as well. So,
Yeah, well, I'll take that look at Swansea. I know we're talking about non-Rotherham stuff here, but Swansea got spanked 4-1 at Huddersfield today. A very strange day at the top of the league. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalise on it. No. Chris Millwood on the comments. If you want to comment, just reply on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, wherever you're watching. Chris Millwood thought Norwich could have had 6 today. No doubt the lads gave everything as usual. Much more important game Tuesday and big performance needed. Questions about the defence, Ben. I don't think we defended awfully, but I thought we talked about it before we went live. But it looked a bit of a basic goal to concede the first one.
Yeah, it's McDonald again. I think everyone knows my thoughts on McDonald. It's up there with his own goals for me. I know he probably couldn't have done a lot about it, maybe, but it's his 4th one now, I think, and. It's mistake after mistake after mistake. Even if it's not on goals, he's getting sent off. I don't rate him. Exactly. And he lost the game. Well,
against Norwich.
Drew his game.
Yeah.
Against
Norwich.
Yeah, we're Norwich or drew his game. I can't remember the score, but It's not good enough. I don't rate him. Every time he gets ball, he hoops it, I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
I thought other than the goal, he had an okay game, but we looked better in the second half when he came off. And we looked better on Tuesday when Woody were in place of him. Yeah. So although the goal, I think Cantwell played a very, very nice dummy, which McDonald went for it, didn't he? And then Plucky's realistically not going to miss that chance when you get him in there.
I think he got away with it. Ben doesn't agree with me, I don't think, but I think Plucky got away with that, trying to get it through goalie's legs. It's not the sign for me of a confident striker. He just got lucky. But to be fair, they'd had 3 or 4 chances prior to that, and then a couple afterwards. So that they just they didn't take. So yeah.
Yeah, on Plucky, I mean, coming on Norwich again, but on Plucky, I can see why he's not had a massively successful career until he got to Norwich. He was very wasteful. He missed a very good chance before the goal. He missed an even better chance in second half as well. He clearly needs a couple of chances to score, but he's got 17 this season, so what difference does that make, I suppose?
I suppose
we take that, won't we? So
yeah, definitely. I mean, with Plucky, is a kind of a bang average bottom half at Premier League player, isn't he?
Yeah.
He'll shine in Championship, and he had a good season in the Premier League to start with, and then he just petered out, and he's a bit
of a Darren Huckabee.
Yeah, only not quite as much of a cheat as Darren Huckabee, but yeah.
That's true. Norwich, they didn't throw themselves around as much today. Buendia did. Other than Buendia, they were much better than they have been in the past few years. Do you not think?
Probably. Just about. I mean, he made a complete idiot of himself, did he, Buendia? Just a joke. I'd love to know whether they do practice the old sort of, in training, arms out. What? Because a lot of the time. But anyway, they weren't as bad as some. To be fair, referee had a good game today. Let me stand on now and say I thought the referee had a decent game. I thought he was reasonably consistent. He let a lot of stuff go that probably a lot of referees wouldn't have. There were a couple of times when he gave one foul when he should, that was same as one that he didn't give. But that's going to happen. I thought he had a decent game, which is unusual for me to say. But anyway,
you brought him up, so we could talk about him. The goal that was disallowed. From one angle, it looks like Barlaser has pulled the keeper's arm. From a second angle, there is no pull. It's not the angle of look at the goal. It's sort of the side angle. He hasn't pulled him. He's put his arm. He's got a hold him, but he hasn't pulled him anywhere.
The referee's
very, very soft. Yeah, of course.
Straight on, isn't he?
Yeah. So, I agree. Where are we? We comments. We've got some coming in. John Littlewood played well second half against a decent team. Lost Crooks at a bad time. Hopefully it's nothing. I think from what I could tell, sadly we're getting warmed up anyway. So I don't think he came off because of the injury. I just think it sort of coincided. I hope.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Great to see Sadler come back on. Ben, he didn't have a massive impact, but he tries to get on the ball and tries to make an impact, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think he could have had impact. They look like they had 20 men on at all times. I don't know how. Just look like they had more men. So he played well. And he did what he really could. It's not much when you're 1-0 down. I think we were tired. I think all the team was tired. I think that showed. And he did what he could. Yeah, it's nice to see him get back on, which is good.
Yeah, it's another weapon, isn't it? It's another weapon to come on at some point. We'll come on to substitutions later on. We'll cover it now on the podcast we do, but we'll cover all the substitutions at some point when Ben stops messing around with his desk and making loads of noise.
Sorry.
No, mate.
Sorry, I had a hair on it.
Okay,
right.
It's a problem I have
regularly.
Callum Gibson agrees with John Littlewood. Second half performance, we matched them. Definitely should have got a point. Clark Robertson was man of the match for him, was solid and stopped scoring 2 more goals. Yeah, Robertson, I mean, it was quiet against Bournemouth. I think that was his best game, but it was back to Clark Robertson's standard performance today. Want to make?
Yeah, it was. I thought both him and Icky played really well. I don't think Sunday or Giles had the impact that they've had previously. But yeah, those two certainly in the centre there were played really, really well. So yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, I think with Giles and Olasunde and Harding to an extent, it's difficult against a team like Norwich because you can't just put against somebody like Middlesbrough, who haven't got much pace in the team. Giles can just put the ball and run. You can't really do that against Norwich because their fullbacks are going to be quick anyway. So there's less opportunity. But I thought Giles defensively had a really, really good game. I don't think it caused any problems. Other games where it's defensively he's had some issues, and he didn't really put a foot wrong defensively, which is a really, really good sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ben, on the substitutions, Chris Miller for attention of Ben. Positive impact from Freddie today. Very unselfish for the most part. A pity of striker's instinct. Saw him challenge Sadler for the last chance of the game. We'll come on to that chance at the end, but I thought Freddie had a good game when he came on today, Ben.
Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he did all wrong. I think he played well. I think it's one of his probably better games. He just, I don't know. I didn't really notice him, which I think is probably good.
I noticed him more nursed.
Yeah, I agree. I think he played well. Yeah, obviously he did that pass, which we scuffed, but that cross. It was the right idea, which is he's trying, which is good. So I think he had a quite good, all right game. Yeah, for him.
If Freddie come on and has that impact every game, and obviously adds a goal or two to it, then that's the player we need.
Yeah. I think if Smith is playing with him, I think if he comes on and does that while Smith's on, I think yeah, I
agree. The chance at the end where Sadler and Freddie sort of challenged each other, I thought it felt better for Freddie than it did for Sadler. I thought Freddie were coming onto it at the angle to properly get a sort of whip on it. Thoughts?
Yeah, you're possibly right. I thought the opposite. I thought that Sadler were coming onto it, but either way, you've got to talk to each other, and one of you goes for it. One of those two hits that properly, and it's going in, no question. I think. But when both of them do it, it's not going anywhere, is it?
No, yeah, I agree. So Will Daniels, Norwich were excellent today. Sometimes you just have to hold your hands up. Their quality in moments shone through. Cadwell was unplayable at times. Another day we take a point. We've got the hardest week of the season out of the way. We've just seen today that any team can beat anyone. Stay in touch until April, and we've got a real chance of staying up. Yeah, I thought Campbell, and at times it just looks like little flicks and tricks, but it's really effective. It gets them into really dangerous positions. That's what most I've been impressed with Campbell when he's played against us in other times. Buendia less so. I thought Buendia was ineffective other than winning the odd foul. Campbell was much better in that sense, I thought, for Norwich. Yeah,
I don't like him. I mean, I'd love a player like that in the team. I would genuinely. Let me rephrase that. I'd love a player with that ability in my team. It's just the rest of it I can't stand. I can't be doing with him. I can't be doing with his attitude. I can't be doing with his hair.
You're just jealous.
No, because if I had hair, I wouldn't abuse it like that. But no, I don't like that kind of player. I don't like him. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he comes across. He seems to me he's got a massive amount of ability, but like Buendia, he's constantly looking to be fouled. That's how I feel about him. Maybe he didn't do that so much quite today, but generally, he's got that Grealish about him, and you know what I think about him, and he reminds me of him, and I don't like it. But yeah, he's had a good game. Can't fault him. Buendia less so.
Yeah, Buendia poor today, I thought, but not really matters, does it? Where are we? AK92. I think we missed Lindsay today for a few 50-50s. Our midfield didn't put a tackle in. Not their fault, it's not a game, but I think it's nice to leave one in now and again, let him know you're there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's just that tenacity and that energy a little bit.
I was going to say earlier on, I feel like we've just lost a little bit of spark, a little bit of sharpness, and that's probably why, because we haven't got anybody in midfield doing that job. But yeah, that's just my view. I don't know.
Well, Sean McDonald can do that to a much lesser extent. But Sean McDonald can do that. I was very surprised McDonald didn't play today. I thought it was sort of set up for him a little bit to sort of sit a bit deeper, potentially for Barlaser who didn't have a bad game but was a little bit quiet again. I'm very surprised McDonald didn't play today.
Yeah.
AK92, what a signing Wing is. Ben, I thought Wing was excellent again.
Yeah, the passes he picks out is very good. He just looked like he got that control, and he was like a quicker, more mobile Barlasser. So, yeah, I think if we can try and get him permanently, I don't know how old he is, it'd be an amazing signing. But
we'd have to stay up for that, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. It's got that championship quality. And this is, we say it's sometimes difficult to pinpoint the exact difference between Championship and League One. Players like that is the difference. He's been loaned out by a mid-table Championship team who clearly don't think he's good enough to get in. Yeah. And we think it's fantastic. That's the difference. I think so. If we do stay up, I think Wing should be the type of player we try to keep on a permanent basis, but that depends if Borough will let him go. So I think he's relatively young, Ben. I think he's mid to early 20s.
Yeah, I think he's 20. I think it's probably 25, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Josh Smith, big game Tuesday now. Expected nothing more regarding Norwich's antics. Whilst this shot goes in, and who knows what happens. Don't seem to have any luck at the minute. Yeah, so 2 parts there. We'll talk about the Icky Challenge, because Josh Smith goes on to mention here Norwich fans aren't happy about career-threatening tackles made by us. Yeah. I assume they're referring to the Icky Challenge.
They need to look themselves lucky that nobody made a challenge like they did on Jefferson the other night. I mean, Jefferson's still struggling now. You know what I mean? God.
Yeah, I assume they're referring to the Icky Challenge, which was a fine challenge. He got the ball. I didn't have an issue with that. I've seen red cards for it.
Yeah.
I don't think they should be given red cards for it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a perfectly fine tackle. He went over a tiny bit, but
I've seen red cards for it. I've seen red cards for it where the player doesn't complain as well. But I don't think it's a foul. I don't think if you get the ball, it should even be considered a foul, because that's football. Endangering the player. Don't play football then, pal. You know, this is contact sport. You're going to get tackles like that. If he gets the ball, it's not a foul. That's the whole point of a foul. But I agree.
Make somebody agrees with you, which I know you always like, over Cantwell. AK92 just moans at ref all the time. He's a glamorised Robbie Savage. He has got a lot of Robbie Savage about him. If Robbie Savage was an okay footballer, that's what he'd be.
If Robbie Savage sees that comment, he's not going to be happy that somebody thinks somebody's more glamorous than him. Are they?
True.
Is he?
Very true.
But yeah, I'm with you, mate. Absolutely, 100%.
Chris Wilmord is with you again. It was good to see ref do a foul against Cantwell for treating defenders like deck chairs towards the end. Don't see it often. Yeah, you won't see, based on based on how referees generally perform, you won't see us very often saying that the referee has had a good game. But the referee had a fine game today. You can argue about the disallowed goal, but other than that, I think he had an okay game. He let it run when it should have run. I thought it did pretty well today.
Absolutely.
I agree.
No, I didn't either. After his performance against Swansea with the bottle, when he bottled sending Ayo off, I anticipated we were going to have, and couple that with, we know what Norwich are like, we know what their antics are like, we know they're going to be in his face, we know they're going to be throwing themselves about. To be fair, they didn't throw themselves about quite as much as we expected, and he had a better game, a decent game.
Chris Moore says we have to trust Wing in the centre a bit more and pick him out rather than playing the ball into the channel sometimes. Yeah, it's about doing different things at different times, isn't it? And that's what Wing gives you. He gives you that flexibility to play in a slightly different way if you need to. Yeah. Totally agree. And Stephen Walker thought we did well today. We had chances and thought a draw would have been a fair result. 2 points off the pace with 2 games in hand. Much easier games coming up. I think we can push on and still have the bottom 3 to play. I've had a quick look. I'll look into this further for the main show. But we have only Brentford to play of the current top 3. Birmingham have all 3 of the top 3 to play: Norwich, Swansea, Brentford. Sheffield Wednesday have Brentford and Norwich to play, and Coventry have got Swansea left, which is coming up on Tuesday. Yeah. We've got an okay running, Ben. It's not a terrifying running.
Yeah. I don't. The thing is, I've been thinking about this quite a lot, and when it comes to like sports, I think apart from the top three, I think top three or the top three in the league or whatever, I think the rest is just like on the players, on the manager. You know, I mean that might not make sense, but it's like. It's not really skill based, unless you're the Premier League. I don't really think it's skill based. I think it's more how the players carry themselves, how they play, how they train, all this stuff. You know. So I think we can do quite well because, like you said, I think it's whoever wants it more and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But look, bottom three.
Yeah, I agree. Look at me. Last time we went Championship, we played Middlesbrough last day of the season, which, as it turns out, didn't matter. But they were chasing for the playoffs or needed to win to get into the playoffs. The chances are that's not going to be the case this time in those last few games of the season.
No, absolutely,
which is key.
I've got an interesting stat for you.
Yeah, go on. I love us.
Interesting stat for you for Tuesday night to bear in mind. Nottingham Forest up until today. Their last 5 games against teams that play 4 at the back, they had won 4 and lost 1. You could add that in today now to make it, out of the last 6, won 5, lost 1. The last 5 games they've played against teams who play 5 across the back, they've lost 4 and won 1. Lost 4 and drawn 1. So it's quite an interesting stat, that. Thank you to Blackburn Rovers podcast for that one, actually, because they were playing them today, and I was just looking at that prior to kickoff. So it's quite interesting. We've got them Tuesday night, and we will obviously be playing 5 across the back, or 3 or 5, whichever. So it would appear that Forest aren't quite overly keen on that. So something to look forward to, perhaps.
Yeah, it's quite early on in the days of Chris Hughton at Forest, and most teams play 4 at back, so that's what you're going to set up and defend against. That makes perfect sense. In terms of other fixtures today, they went as badly as they could have possibly gone today, I think. Coventry beat Brentford in the early kickoff. Huddersfield beat Swansea 4-1, as we've already mentioned. Forest won, picking up with further points. QPR won. I know Middlesbrough weren't really in the fight, but Middlesbrough won to pull themselves further away. Sheffield Wednesday somehow managed to lose to Birmingham. I know they had 10 men up. But I were hoping that they'd do the entire league a favour by beating Birmingham quite comfortably, and that just sort of gets rid of Birmingham. But now Birmingham are right back in the fight with a bit of confidence because they've got to win.
We're in relegation zone now, aren't we?
So. Wednesday can't do anything right, can they?
No.
I hope they go down. I hope they go down so much because it'd be so funny for them to be one of the lowest clubs in Yorkshire. Because a few years ago they were the highest, they were the biggest, weren't they? Part Leeds maybe. But then
if Donny come up and Wednesday go down, they'll be the lowest South Yorkshire.
Exactly. That's what I mean, man. And a few years ago they're singing that "Man the Gap" and that's Sheffield and how David return.
Yeah. Well, that would say to me that
I say that United. Bottom, but
that's true. I still think Birmingham are there to be taken in terms of relegation. What that says to me is that Sheffield Wednesday are as well. They had a good start under the caretaker manager, and it's now sort of fallen off a cliff a little bit. We play them a week on Wednesday, so hopefully they're still in this terrible run at that point. And then we can hopefully get a 3-0 win, which would be lovely.
This is completely in our hands, isn't it? This is completely in our hands. You know, we cannot be down and disappointed. You can't be down and disappointed after the last 2 games. Yeah, we haven't got any points out of them, but we played top and 3rd or 4th in league away from home. And we are down there at bottom. You know, the stats and everything tell you, the league table tells you that was going to be the result. In fact, probably the league table tells you that was still a good result because you hadn't lost 3 or 4 by 3 or 4. You know, you've kept it to an absolute minimum. So and the performances have been such that, you know, we could have got something out of both games. So you can't really moan about it. You know, I don't think anyway. I know obviously people will, but, you know, we'll move on now.
Yeah, exactly. I get people upset about the results, but at the same time, when you're playing somebody like Norwich, for example, it's important not just to look at the result. It's important to look at the overall picture. and the overall picture is pretty positive as things stand. Obviously, we're coming to the business end of the season. We are, how many games have we played now? Are we on 30 yet? Or are we still on 29?
Yeah, no, we're on 29.
So we're still on 29 games. So there's still a good chunk of season left.
Yeah,
What's that? 17 games left between now and end of season. And we are better off than we were last in the Championship. I'm trying to find the stats now, but we're all right. I can still tell you for a fact that we are better off. 29 games, we're 4 points better off now than we were this time last season, and didn't we go down by 4 points?
Something like that, yeah.
So I know that's not how football works, but in theory, that puts us in a really, really good position.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody's not too down and disappointed. I hope you are disappointed because we lost, but I hope you're not too down and disappointed. And I'm sure there will be some idiot screaming on Twitter and Facebook about Warney out or some nonsense like that.
Yeah.
If you are entitled to your opinion. That doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
So
what? Really?
Apparently not.
Oh God, no! Well, what am I doing on here then?
Exactly. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching anywhere, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are going to be doing another watch along on Tuesday, which is, if you didn't watch it last time, me and Mick just sit as if we're in the same room and sort of talk through the game, as if we're all there together. Ben may or may not appear for that one. Who knows? Inconsistent, Ben. He's a bit like Freddie in terms of he's quite inconsistent.
Yeah, Ben, you need to put a bit more effort in. There's no real excuse, is there?
Exactly.
You're more than capable. You prove it week in, week out, you know what I mean? And then when it comes to putting effort in, what happens?
Exactly. Poor.
Yeah.
Just quickly, Paul Davis says that according to Warney, Crooks just took an ankle knock, but should be okay for Tuesday. But we're now in a position where we can make some changes. Sadly, for example, could come in and play.
Sadly, looked promising when he came on for me. I thought, and he's been out for a long time, but you know that he's going to run at players, he's going to create problems for players, and that's something that we need. So yeah, it's good to see him back.
He can score as well. You look at Donny last season, like 11, 12 goals. He can score goals from midfield, which adds to the armoury, if you like. So yeah, thank you all for watching, getting involved. We were back on Monday morning for the proper, a bit more in-depth review. We're going to look at more detail of substitutions and whatnot. Plus, we're going to look ahead to Nottingham Forest on Tuesday, live on Sky. Yay. Thank you, Ben. It's been a pleasure having you with us this time.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. And Mick, thank you very much.
No problem. If you are watching on YouTube, down there, bottom corner, please just click on the subscribe button. You can do that while you're watching. So give us a subscribe, please.
Yes, I agree. Thank you all. We'll see you all next time. Thank you very much.
Pringle looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant!